build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Shiki, shiki, Citizen FM, Citizen FM.
This is 93.7.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Citizen FM News at noon. I am Lawrence Umoite. The Central Bank of Nigeria has finally concluded plans to release all 1,000 naira, 500 naira, and 200 naira notes in its custody to the deposit money banks. This decision is expected to end months of hardship and pains Nigerians have been going through following a controversial CBN Naira redesign policy that has caused a severe shortage of old and new Naira notes across the country. The CBN's latest decision came several weeks after the Supreme Court ordered that the old notes should remain legal tender until December 31st, 2023. The Abia State Governor-elect Dr. Alex Otti of the Labour Party has assured the citizens that his administration will unite rather than divide the state. Otti gave the assurance in his acceptance speech after he was declared the winner of Saturday's governorship election. He spoke at his campaign office near the government house in Umuahia.
Are deservedly impatient to have these issues addressed as quickly as possible. I assure you that these areas will receive the priority attention of our government. Nevertheless, I caution that we need to put in our best and row together in one direction. There is no magic wand that can fix all the rot and decay noticed in virtually every segment of the system since the past several years. For us to have sustainable development, it will require very painstaking and elaborate layout of master plans to enable us to tackle the menace of flooding and re-engineer our cities, especially Aba, Umuahia, and other cities that will be developed.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Peter Mba, as the winner of the March 18th governorship election in Enugu State. Mba polled 160,895 votes, slightly above his closest rival, Chijoke Edoga of Labour Party, who scored 157,552 votes, and Uche Naji of the All Progressives Congress, who got 14,575 votes, among others. The All Progressives Congress in Kano State has protested the governorship election results, demanding the immediate removal of the state resident electoral commissioner. Despite armed security men guarding the roads leading to the state INEC office, the protesters broke through, calling for a review of the result and the immediate removal of the rec.
The essence of this letter centrally is that we are demanding for immediate removal of the Kano State Resident Electoral Commissioner, taking it and to revisit and review whatever transpired on the day of the election and on the day the collation was made and on the day the return and declaration was made. That is simply what is content.
You have now presented your grievances, which we will collect and definitely we will forward as usual. So thank you very much for presenting.
Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, says he was not against Peter Obi, the candidate of the Labour Party, becoming the president. The governor said his main goal was to have a Southerner become president. Bola Tinubu, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, and Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party in the presidential election, which was held on February 25th. Speaking during a media chat, the Rivers State governor said there was no agreement in place for him to work for Obi.
For the candidate of I told him to vote for the unity of Nigeria. As far as Rivers is concerned, their position that look, we want a power shift. And there are two candidates from the south. And Aswaji Bola Tinubu and Peter. It's unfortunate for anybody to use the word ring. I don't work for INEC. I don't have INEC documents with me. I'm not an alpha staff of INEC. And so I'm not in a place to read election for anybody. It's when you have the materials of INEC that you can now talk about rigging. But I take exception to Peter's comment that I came out against him. People are not being sincere. People are not being, people are not appreciative. In 2019, asked Peter B. I was one of the team that chose Peter B to be the vice presidential candidate of Atiku Abubakar.
The chairman Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senator Barau Jibrin, has declared his ambition to contest the position of the Senate President in the 10th National Assembly. The senator, who is representing Kano Central Senatorial District, told journalists that he is the most ranking and experienced among those contesting the position with him. He promised to officially begin his campaign in the coming weeks.
In the procedure of legislation, before you are able to be the president of the Senate, the rules and regulations on how we, do our activities here, you need to be knowledgeable in them. You need to be grounded, and that's the tradition all over the world. And as you speak, I'm number one among those who have shown.
Nigeria's Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General of the World Trade Organization, says trade is part of the solution to managing the economics of water, to give incentives to appropriate use that ensure access and equity. Okonjo-Iweala said this at a news conference organized by the Global Commission on the Economics of Water on the sidelines of the ongoing 2023 UN Water Conference in New York. The United Nations General Assembly first designated this day in 1999, and each year it highlights a specific theme relating to water. In Nigeria, the challenge of accessing clean and safe water is particularly acute, especially in rural areas.
An additional 35% in water resources will be needed by 2050 to meet the growing demand for food, fiber, and feeds. This highly worrying for effort to end hunger and poverty, because there can be no food and agriculture and livelihood in support without clean and sufficient water.
Water for all implies that the elderly, disabled, marginalized, and the poor people get access to clean drinking water and proper sanitation in line with Sustainable Development Goals 6.1 and 6.2.
But this is really an opportunity to have a call to action for increased water coverage in Nigeria. It's estimated that 78 million children in Nigeria are suffering from poor water access at the moment.
In the Federal Capital Territory, it's been tales of agony for residents in far-flung communities in Gwagwalada Council area as they continue to battle for access to potable drinking water.
When they drink no good, then cow, they come drink them, I go come fetch it, but as you see this rubber, I see cow for come drink this water, but that's why I need government to help us to prepare this water to be a good to human being drink. That's why Many people that they sick as a drinker, stomach and headache, and every skinniness. The water flows from Anagada axis. We have about 4 wells which are for drinking, and that is one that somebody was carrying water within that previous time. So we believe in that if there's any means that the government can support to bring a borehole within the axis, we appreciate the government for doing it.
The park water and catfish, us the fisher, the cocoa, us the compass, the corn wash.
And for some foreign stories now, United States President Joe Biden is insisting on the rights of women as an event to mark the Women History Month at the White House. The Supreme Court had last year ruled that states can ban abortion. Since then, Republican legislatures across the country have rolled out legislations against abortion.
All the progress we've made, we have a lot more work to do here at home. An extreme Supreme Court stripped away fundamental freedom that existed for half a century. We've got to continue to fight to protect women's fundamental right to make decisions about her own body. I want to, in front of all of you, thank Kamala, which I do privately, for leading the fight to protect women's reproductive health. We have to stand together on the rising tide of hateful laws targeting transgender women and girls. That's why I continue to call on Congress.
Meanwhile, the U.S. First Lady Jill Biden is calling on men to step up and fight for women's rights.
Away the hard-won progress that we've made, that our mothers made, and their mothers made before them. We find ourselves refighting battles we thought we had won a long time ago. Every little girl must know that she belongs in all places of power.
And for some sports stories now, an Egyptian referee, Mohamed Farouk, has been suspended indefinitely by the country's FA for allegedly disallowing a goal after looking at the footage on a spectator's phone. Mohamed Farouk took charge of an Egyptian second division clash between Al Nassr and Suez on Friday. And in the absence of VAR, relied on an alternative system to get a second look at a late goal. And that's the Citizen FM News at noon. I am Lawrence Umoite.